approach to anti-terrorism in its own country. So do you think that India is doing enough to curb Islamism?
I don't think so, because of the same reason as I said earlier on, that if you feel that uh, the Muslim vote bank will go elsewhere, that 10 to 15% can have drastic effects in certain constituencies. You've seen that in West Bengal, where Mamtaji's party members had green topis and green flags. So it was a good use of the Muslim population to its effect. Who's going to stand up against terrorism? If you cannot identify terrorism in its current form worldwide and equate it to, sir, कि वो तो अमेरिका ने भी bombing की थी तो आप उस पे नहीं बोले थे. You know what aboutism tires me? When your belief system says that the destruction of Hindustan is your destiny, which we call ghazwa-e-hind, and the end of times will not begin until India and Hinduism and Hindu temples are destroyed. If this is your belief, and your life, you genuinely believe, begins after you die, when you go to paradise or heaven, and the world comes to an end, that is what you aspire to. The nature of our way of considering what is life is very linear as compared to, say, the Hindus or the maybe perhaps even the Jain of, cyclical events of the Atma being where it is. We view it from a very different construct, so we don't know how to tackle extremism. Muslim extremism must be tackled by Muslim leadership. When a non-Muslim takes on that leadership, he becomes George Bush. The idiot bombed Iraq because Pakistan-based terrorist attack committed 9/11. Sochiye na. That means there was nobody around. We're saying, sir, all of them were Saudis, all trained by bin Laden, who lives in Pakistan. No. Let's go to Iraq and bomb the crap out of them and make them all extremists. So what was the product? You created ISIS over there. Who thought that Al-Qaeda was very bad? Now you have in Mozambique, a place like Mozambique having ISIS terrorists. India did something very early on, which still hasn't been put into effect, is the definition of terrorism. India has never identified Pakistan as a state sponsor of terrorism. That should be the first thing India should do. This is a state sponsor of terrorism. We want to place sanctions on it. The world doesn't want to do it. Let them go. But you commit any offense against Bharat on your borders through people you send over here, or the propaganda that you have, or how you kill people who are pro-India, or you kill the Hindus and convert the Christians or send them to China as sex workers. All of that is not becoming of a state, but if it is a state policy and it is India's neighbor, and India is a rising world power, then India needs to first clean up its shores. Just abhi Sri Lanka ke beaches pe all that plastic has ended up. Pakistan is similarly contamination that is lying on the western side of India. It will, as long as the thought that we are going to come back as Mughal emperors is not erased from the psyche, not the genuine thought. If you love Babur, you are the enemy of India. If Aurangzeb is the greatest thing you ever thought about, and every Pakistani wants to be Aurangzeb, then what does India think? The worst man who ruled India is a hero for Pakistanis. ये इतना 600, 700, 800 years से this hostility is there. That needs to be cleansed, and that will only, in India, it can only be reflected if Indian Muslims have Indian names. Indian Muslims have Arab names. They don't have their own names. कोई भी नहीं है. So Turks have their own names. You don't find Abdullah नाम का कोई Turk हो. You know, you have Erdogan, that is, no Arab can pronounce it. Iranians have their own name. Indonesians have their own name. Why is it that subcontinent Muslims need to have Arab names? वो कर ले ठीक है, लेकिन 100%. It shows you the level of contempt you have for the land on which you live. Lahore is not some. Lahore is only temporarily out of the reach of Indian civilization. ना? राम के बेटे के नाम पे शहर रखा, उस पे मुसलमान बैठ के आके, this is our city. अरे भाई मक्का जाके लो, लाहौर पे कब्जा कर लिया. And there's no Hindu living in Lahore. Every Indian city has about 10 to 15% Muslim population. You go to any city in Pakistan, you will. So if you put up a sign, reward, I want to meet a Hindu in Karachi, in the next 1 week, there will be nobody there. Sabko maar diya. Or you need to have trade talks. Now, Francois Gautier has written something about this. He said, what is needed is a spine. ये well-mannered लखनऊ स्टाइल का लीडरशिप के आदाब कैसे हैं आप, हुजूर कुछ अशार सुना दीजिए ना. We can't get it out of here. So India is not taking care of the terrorist threat, nor is it conscious of how to do it.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.